In conclusion, Alice, what I wanted to say that there's only one way here. Glazers will sell.
Now I'm sitting right here, living next door to Alice.
And she's back on popular demand. Alice, how you doing? Sorry about my vocal skills. I mean, I hope I didn't slaughter that song, but how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me back on, and hoping Man United complete the Sam Rabat signing, because I think that will be really positive for us.
We're diving right into the juicy bits. Of course, now you're warmed up because you just finished off a live stream, which I was watching. I also want to talk about the sales takeover and what leads this into, what's going on. Just going to bring up this. So can everyone see this? Because I am absolutely appalled with the media spin. I talked about it in my stream yesterday, and on the past 72 hours, there's been constantly, I don't know how to describe it, like a ping pong show, right? What's it going to be? Are you just creating the stories for the creation of it? It started off the back of the iSports, which is, I don't know, not something that I've heard of before. Apparently the journalists writes for Newcastle or something like that. And typically what happens, Alice, is that everything's like domino effects, right? One starts and everyone jumps on, and then all the, according to our channel, starts reporting. I didn't do a show because I was calling it a BS, right? So it started off with the like to say it's on pause, right? Did you get it? Did you read it? And what was your take on it?
What I generally think is happening is they want 6 billion. Qatar and Sir Jim's offers are in the 5.5 billion range. Sir Jim's going to be difficult because other Class A shareholders threatening to sue them. Qataris believe it will be no sale; it will go to them. I think they're like, Qatar have 6 billion. Why can't Qatar have put 4 bids in? They keep upping their bids when we ask for more. Let's keep trying to ask for more and see if Qatar cave. Delay the deal. See if we can get more money. 4 want to sell to Qatar. 2 want to are a bit skeptical. It's basically them dilly-dallying, delaying it. I think it's all a game to get more money out of Qatar. I think they know they have to sell the club. I think they know their time is up. I think they're using the fact that there's a few new changes happening that might bring in more revenue to say, look, the value of the club's going to increase. It's worth 6 billion, but Qatar, they've said take it or leave it. This is our 4th and final offer. Oh, but we've already got 4 bids from them. What's to say they won't cave and put a 5th in? I think it's all games to get Qatar to bid up higher, really, I think.
Okay. I value your opinion because at the end of the day, as a community, we're here to share and care. That's the thing. But if you dissect this story, for instance, not so credible story, to be honest. But, I tweeted directly after this. So now it's been a drought on the, the takeover story. So let's just create something to continue this narrative, because at the end of the day, we need to sell publications and clicks and advertisement. That's what it is, profiting, right? So I'm against that, to be honest. I'm fed up to all these lies, to be honest. If you know, you know. But if you really read into it, it says that one at least, obviously they don't have any connections to the 92 Holding Foundation, so it's all about the Ineos camp. For them, it's been a pause. They haven't heard nothing, to be honest. And I want to allude to that, how it transpired in the next 42 hours, 45 hours, to say, because all of a sudden everyone started to reporting in it. I said, no, this is not the case. Keep calm. Because if you haven't tuned in, for the past 10 months, I've been doing all this, for instance, in investigations and just providing an educational platform, what's going on here. To coming up to the next piece to say that from Bain Jacobs, which is absolutely, oh my God, what's going on here? Those close to the sellers of Manchester United insist that Sheikh Jasim has been behind the delays. How the hell could he be? It's laughable. What do you reckon about this?
I don't think really anyone has much of a clue what's going on because of NDAs. I think bits of information get leaked, and I'm not saying that the journalists are bad, but I think the information that is leaked, what can you trust? Rio Ferdinand thought he had a really credible source saying that Qatar was done, and it wasn't. I think the thing is, I think very little people know what's going on because of the NDAs. Qatar will put some stuff out on their side, but we've heard Qatar are slightly in the dark. So Jim will put some stuff out on his side, but we've heard that he's slightly in the dark. I think it's it's just every news you get, doesn't matter who the journalist is, you have to
Yeah,
take
but
it with a little bit of pinch of
are
salt.
you having a piss? Like, are you having a wank when you're doing this? To be honest, this is click porn, according to my opinion. I'm sorry for the language, but I'm just tired of this because if you read all the articles, they just create the freaking headline. They use the same bloody stories, but you just reshuffle a little bit, like
Yeah,
they have some
rewording it.
AI, rewording, like they have some AI tool doing it,
It's
but
boring.
there's nothing related to the bloody article. So they figure out, they crack the Da Vinci Code, how to attract people, to fool people. And this is what I'm against, because you're playing with Manchester United fans. Ben Jacobs is not a Manchester United fan, as far as I know. Yeah, he's a Chelsea fan, right? So what do you care? And a lot of those people has been doing this. They're following this gravy train, according to my opinion. So I'm absolutely angry how you can behave like this. It's not a bloody essay. Do you practice that? I understand you want to win the Pulitzer Prize. I understand that everyone wants to be the first to break the story. But what you're doing there is making more harm and causing more anxiety for already broken fan base. There are
Yeah. A lot
destined
of the news isn't news. It's just, well, this source says this, but actually, how many times have
hearsays.
sources said this and that not happened? Like with the
Yeah.
Sky report last week, when they're back from tour, there will be an announcement on the takeover. I said, yeah,
Mm.
but we got told there was going to be an announcement at the end of March. We got told there was going to be an announcement in April when the season was over, when the FA Cup final was
Yeah.
done. We got told there'd be an announcement before the transfer window
Right.
opens. Why do I believe there's going to be an announcement within the next week? I don't. I think this could go on till Christmas. I really
Okay.
could.
Okay. We're going to talk more about that. I just want to go in and put your thought process, my thought process in it. As gloves are off, like, we are Manchester United fans, but at the end of the day, we got to protect our community as well. So for me, why is it Sheikh Jasim that's in delay? My God, no. He's the one that has the highest bid. So what is this? To be honest, now here comes more of the spin within the 24 hours, coming in from Mike Keegan, providing a little bit of a calm, but he's also been flipping, right? He also jumped on the bandwagon, the gravy train. Negotiations are taking place with multiple parties all of a sudden. Who is the multiple parties? This is insane. Multiple
Hmm.
parties. So you're saying that all of a sudden it's more than Sheikh Yasim, it's more than Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Is it more? What's going on here all of a sudden? Where did this come from? BS. Absolutely. You understand what I'm alluding to. So anyway, and then finally it comes after the 98 foundation had the spaces, right? Everyone was backtracking and changing the tunes a little bit. You saw the patterns.
Hmm.
There remains a confidence among some close that Sheikh Yasim will win the race. Again, the race. And that's Mike Keegan, right? So all of a sudden you're changing the tune, right? Yeah. And then further clarification to clarify how you safeguard yourself is to say takeover is still ongoing, multiple parties, no pause in the process. Architects not asked for new scaled down plans. Kit deal was factored to the bids. See, kit deal was factored to the bids. You know Adidas bid. So, and that's the thing. That's the end of what I think, because at the end of the day, Alice, like, Adidas invested in the future for 10 more years, and that
Yeah.
contract kicks in 2025. That means that you're not getting the revenues right now, only kicks in 2025, right? Glazers cannot stay. They don't have the finances. How would you run the club? That's the thing. You have no finances, right?
Hmm.
Everything is done and dusted. Everything is just been, it's too much to run the takeover process, the transfer market, and handle the Mason Greenwood situation at the same time, right? It's
Hmm.
disaster. So it's clear and obvious that the PR machine of Manchester United is doing the best to gain their traction, right? To gain that momentum and feeding out stories to the journalists. Now, my opinion, this is my opinion. Most of these journalists have the credible, they're in the click zone, like, they know each other, they have same sources within the club officials, right? But that club officials are not connected to, what do you call it, the NDA, and a part of that inner circle that's handling the NDA. So they keep hearing hearsays and reporting this out to the journalists. It's catch 22 situation. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. But the reason why I see that's a lot of push towards the 92 against 92 Holding Foundation, because if the 92 Holding Foundation, rest assured there will be a massive clearance above Erik ten Hag in terms of change of personnel, and that means that that's a existential threat for your business as a journalist, right? Because for years that's been your gravy train, that's been your source, and that's why I kind of been scared creating these narratives, right? I don't know. That's my take on it, Alice. This is how I
Mm.
see the world, right? So I'm just tired of creating lies. Just tell us the truth, but the truth they will never tell because they don't know the truth, according to my
Yeah.
opinion. Hmm.
I just think this week they need to tell us what's going on with Greenwood, the Glazers, and do some communication with the buyers, with the sellers, and inform the fans what's going on because it's not fair on the fans. And then
Hmm.
they need to hurry up, sell some players, and bring in
Yeah.
Amrabat. That's what I want in the next week.
So I just want to bring in Alien Tenno super chat here, who was just donating. Thank you, Alien Tenno, for donating super chat, guys. Thank you for supporting the channel. Your super chats mean a lot. If you are joining, becoming a member, because Alice and me, we know that creating content is hard work, right? And every single donation, we are so grateful for it because that means that we can sort of improve making more content and buying equipment, stuff like that for people that comes to the panel and stuff. But Alien Tenor, thank you. Glazing multi-party is a bag of jelly babies. True that, mate. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm just in conclusion, Alice, what I wanted to say that there's only one way here. Glazers will sell. They can't, I'm a financial guy. I look at the financial market. I've done everything, all the I can't in my mind, there's no way they can stay. And if they do, they've been challenged from the minority shareholders. If they're going to stay for another season, if they see that something is looming with the new revenues coming from the new Champions League formats and stuff like that, they're delusional because you are facing an obstacle with Bank of America wanting you to pay back all the credits, the bonds by 24, 25. How are you going to generate the money? In order for the Glazers to stay, they need investments, they need funds. That was the original idea because when they came out and did that, they have run the ship to the ground. That was their cry for help, Alice. Did you understand that? That was their cry
Yeah.
for help. So they went through this minority investors. Everyone looked under the bonnet on the financial bonnet and say, hey, are you mad? Why should I give you 6 billion? Are you crazy? Bugger off. Left was the Sheikh Jasim and so-called the Inneos that was never cash rich, but only like, what do you call it? Asset rich. And to release those assets, money talks for the Glazers, Glazonomics. So the ones that's been delaying, according, if you go back to this article, they're now flipping to say this Sheikh Jasim delaying. No, the one that's been delaying is Ineos because they've been, trying to release the funds and going back and forward with the Rain Group to say, okay, we will pay you 3/4 of now, and we will give you this 75% later. We will do installments, and it's been confusing them. At the end of the day, money talks. What Sheikh Jasim did couple of weeks ago, went around the corner, it was well documented. Slapped the money on the table, take it or leave it. Here you go, and that's where it's been silent.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it, but I believe, my personal belief, I know that they bought up the B shares. It's just a matter of fact of giving the space for Ten Hag to recruit in the transfer market, because all of a sudden, if you announce that you have money, they will take you for the piss. They will sort of slap the extra 40% on the transfer market. Our strategy this time around is to act like, oh, we're not going to overpay. We're a poor club. Have you noticed that? We leak, how we got everything
Yeah.
like,
120 million net spend budget.
mm,
But it's been, I reckon it's actually about 180 million, but they try and at poorer, which is, to be honest, what they need to do because of Man United tax.
mm.
We still overpaid a bit for Hoyland, but it's just what Man United has
Well,
to mess with the
yeah,
players.
you could. We didn't and we did not because it's everyone wants a striker. It's a supply and demand, Alice. The market reacts on supply and demand, and that's the thing. Regarding the stock share price, also fell down to 20 regarding the Manchester United PLC, but that story that came out from iSports, I have a feeling that was deliberately planned because what happens with the stock market is you have the dumb money and you have the smart money. As soon as the stock market drops from 25 to 20, you have these vouchers buying up volumes of shares to profit because they know that's going to be bought up for a premium. They might sell them for 35, 38. Anyway, enough of the Glazers. What were we talking about before that? Value, something.
Yeah, we're just talking about the Glazers and silly media games and
Yeah,
Greenwood and
yeah,
how there's just the poor communication at Manchester United, really.
it is. And the Glazers, they don't talk. 100%, they don't talk. So, guys, let me know your thoughts and feelings. At the end of the day, I know what I know. There's certain things that I can't talk and that I can't share with you. There's an NDA, but this is more of a forum to have a discussion, right? So at the end of it, you got to debunk what's out there. The facts are out there, right, for you to read. It's not, I get messages all the time, but I want you to start using your logic and reasoning. Like, at the end of the day, you know, what you believe is your belief. And I understand that PTSD, like the fear that they're going to stay, but financially speaking, they are screwed. Absolutely screwed. The Buccaneers is down, it's also on credit. This transfer window is still on credit. It's the club's money, it's not the Glazers' money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm tired of this, but I want a resolution very, very soon. I don't know what you're thinking, but do you think regarding that after this transfer window, after Ten Hag has got his main targets, do you think they will come out and say something?
Pardon?
Hmm?
What do you mean? Like the Glazers?
Well, some kind of announcement about the sales process. I mean, if you're going in the theory, Carve Sports said it also. Wants to come back from the, America, there will be some form of serious update. We're starting to see snippets coming out again. It's been quiet. They're screwing down the media, the PR, basically not to disrupt the transfer window. Have you noticed?
Mm.
As soon as the transfer window started, there was nothing about the takeover. Isn't that a coincidence?
I think they always knew that the takeover wasn't going to be done till after the transfer window.
Hmm.
So let's shut it down. Let's use transfers. Hope they forget about it, and
Yeah.
then they can ask questions come September. I think that's the game.
The club is screwed. They is screwed. They cannot stay. You just have to look at the finance people. If you have any ideas of the financial figures and what they are owning, and basically to say that they're greedy, yes, they inherited this for free. They didn't invest anything else, right? Since Malcolm died 2015. So they're literally going to walk away with six billion in the pockets, right? To say that want more, why would they, right? If you offer a contingency business deal from Qatar to say, look, we offer you the TV deals to broadcast the AFL, you can build a stadium here in Qatar and blah, 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 that's worth billions for them as well. So I just say, people, to summarize this, Alice, how can we summarize? What did we learn today from this? Don't believe.
The Glazers are greedy.
Yeah, the Glazers are greedy. Green and gold until so. Glazers are. Keep protesting. Keep supporting 9058. Keep protesting, people. That's all you can do. Put pressure on. 100%, that's what we can do. But also, don't. I mean, it's up to you what you want to believe. But I think we made the point clear here that don't let the journal spin you dizzy. That's the thing, right? They have no Scooby-Doo, and they are there to profit as well, right? I'm anti-clickbait. I don't want to do this, but I'm saying, I've been saying this for quite a while. I've been saying about this transfer window, Alice, as well. Relax, we're going to get Hoyland. Relax, we're going to get Amrabat. Relax, we're going to have a good transfer window. And so far, before we close the shop, Alice, so far regarding the recruits, you reckon it's a good transfer window?
I think so, considering it's a difficult one with the takeover looming. But if we get Amrabat in, it's a good transfer window if we do get some of the deadwood out. I think McTominay, Fred, Donny needs to go, Dean Henderson needs to go, Alica gone. I think the outs have been the disappointment more than the ins, actually.
100%. Yeah. So to summarize everything, Alice has to go. She's been doing her show on her own, and we've been doing 1 hour show here. So I really appreciate it. It was always good to have you on for the second time. I really hope you enjoyed it. It was a good discussion, Alice, at the end of the day. So, you should invite me next door for your coffee next time. But you do your solo thing. Anyway, looking forward to have you back again.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It was good to be on the show. And of course, it Glazers out.
Guys, have a good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in, and peace, love, and onana. Usually we say peace, love, and banana. Thank you, Alice, for coming on. See you next time. That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.